Oh, I'm stuffed. Especially that I've managed to have myself my pancakes recently. Because as you know, that it is the pancake day today, so let me know your thoughts to see if well, you have a better taste for pancakes, because trust me, you won't able to love it. Hey, what's up everyone? It is I, the one and only Maxi here, and I'm from the likes of the MaxiToys videos, and ladies and gentlemen, today's day is the 10th anniversary of the MaxiToys YouTube channel. I know it's been like a huge decade ago since when obviously the MaxiToys has been firstly introduced in the YouTube channel, and it's gone off to a rough start, but eventually when it gets like later years and stuff like that, things get on much more of the improvement over the likes of how it does it back in 10 years ago, because I was you know what I mean, got my crappy camera back in the day, and also just managed to get some pretty rubbish commentary, and also to top it off, some very rushed out videos and all that stuff, which in the end though, I basically just moved on. So because of that though, because I didn't have a Dazzle or capture card or anything else like that back in the day, because I just managed to turn off the lights off and hope for the best. But then when I looked up on several YouTube videos that I was a huge fan of, back in the day that is, that honor goes to Commander by 456, and some call me Johnny for his reviews that he did a magnificent job at, and also Slim Kirby and all the other jazz that I was familiar with. And as a result, I become a huge honor when it comes to the MaxiToys, and yeah, I'm very glad that you're able to enjoy this kind of stuff. And before we get started with the huge event in terms of the 10th anniversary of the MaxiToys YouTube channel, we're going to be divided into two different segments. First things first, this is going to be the Q&A kind of thing. And I know the deadline is already yesterday, so I'm sure enough that most of some of these the MaxiToys fans out there were expected able to put me in some comments out there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your thoughts about the actual, the comments themselves. So as a result, that I'm super hyped about it. And the second part, it will be pretty exciting for you guys out there. That's what appears to be by the forms of my plushie collection. So yeah, that should be exciting for the most part. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to it with the first segment, which appears to be Q&A. So even then, with that being said, let's get this thing started here. The first question comes from Amani White, and he asked me two questions. So let's see here. Hey Maxi, how did you like? Who do you like better, Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario? To be honest with you, I like Mario more. I do like Sonic, don't get me wrong, but I think Mario does have a bigger selections of games, ranging from kart racing games I always enjoy, party games I was a huge fan of, RPG Mario games I always get thrilled about, and also 2D and 3D platformer. I think I like the 3D one the most. And then compared to Sonic's though, he does have really great selections of 2D Sonic games. While the 3D games for Sonic are pretty good, some of them are like, pretty bad, like Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 is the example, and also Shadow the Hedgehog with his very bleak visuals and all that stuff, and repetitive mission structure and all that stuff. And also, don't get me started on Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric though, because that game is still trash. But at least for Mario though, at least I enjoy the 2D games. Well, it does get a bit samey every once in a while, but the 3D ones I always enjoy the most. And yeah, that's the only example about it. So yeah, there's not much else I can say about this one. So the next question he answered me, he's saying, Hola Maxi, como estes, which it usually translates to, how are you? What 1990s system is your favorite? The PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn or the Sega Dreamcast? Well, for my personal favorite 1990s game console, this is in my opinion, and I know everyone else has their own opinions as well, but that honor goes to, well, if you couldn't tell from my cap already, Nintendo 64. The reason why I go for this Nintendo 64 system is that it does have really good selections of games that usually part of my childhood and some other familiar games I was really into, even though I was a huge fan of, mainly with the forms of, well, the most obvious N64 games as considerably to be popular, which appears to be, of course, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and also Banjo-Kazooie is one of the most iconic collectathon 3D platformers of all time. And also to top it off, Super Mario 64 is the most recognizable one. Donkey Kong 64 is a really good 3D Donkey Kong game. Seriously, Nintendo, bring the 3D Donkey Kong game back. Well, at least depends. So, and also really great Mario Party Trilogy. Like, I think my favorite one will have to be the second one because it has, like, unique charm to it. And the third one is pretty good, but the first one, it gets a bit rough around the edges though, but either way though, that's what I expected it will be. I don't honestly mind PlayStation, because usually PlayStation also has really good software, but I didn't even grown up with it back in the day. Same applies to the Sega Saturn and the Sega Dreamcast, but that's entirely end of story. So yeah, thank you so much, man, for answering me some questions like this. The next questions, or actually two next questions actually, comes from Jerry Mogul. And she is saying, although I've heard about the videos about her videos, and I actually enjoyed them. Even though it's almost entirely related to Kirby's Return to Dreamland, basically, so I don't mind about it. And she's saying, who is your favorite character in MLP, which is of course My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Kirby series, Tom and Jerry, and Sonic series. Let's get with the obvious one, with being the forms of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic characters. Well, this is kind of tough for me, because I was gonna originally try to go for Fluttershy or Rarity, but I don't know. I think I might actually go for Rarity more, despite the fact that, as you saw, I'm wearing a Fluttershy shirt, because she looks adorable enough. But for me, I think Rarity is my favorite one. I know most bronies out there might disagree, which is true. But either way though, it's your opinions, and I do have mine as well, so please understand. But the thing is with Rarity though, she is obviously a generosity pony, and she's so adorable looking, it's also a pretty blessing as well. Even though no Fluttershy is the same, so even then though, except, well, I kind of like Rarity a bit more. Well, usually I do love Fluttershy as well, because she's adorable, so yeah, that's that. My favorite Kirby character, it will probably have to be Kirby himself, because he's unique, and also he does have the ability to use combi abilities for certain enemies and all that jazz. So yeah, I am a huge fan of the Kirby series. So and Meta Knight is also pretty cool looking as well, being like a cool knight swordsman. It's kind of hard to say because I know it has been a while since I actually done some of those Kirby stuff every once in a while, but forgive me on that part. As far as the forms of the Sonic series are concerned, I think my favorite ones will have to be Sonic, because what do you expect? I think Shadow might actually be the coolest Hedgehog in the world, although despite the fact that he has amnesia, so yeah, that pretty much sums it up. For Silver though, he's a pretty cool guy. I mean, usually speaking that he's obviously first appeared in Sonic 06, but despite his voice has gone a bit, ugh. I don't like the sound of his voice though. That's just me. And yeah, as for Tom and Jerry though, obviously Tom and Jerry are the coolest dynamic duos in terms of, you know, slapstick comedy and stuff like that. In fact, for those of you ever watching this, by the way, the movie is about to be approaching next month. Even though I might be skeptical at first, but I'll wait until when the reviews are up. So God knows if it's going to be on the theater or on demand, but we'll see. So yeah, that's that. I know it's a bit iffy for my commentary, but that's how it is for my part. So she also say, can you play the extra mode in Kirby's Return to Dreamland, please? Here's the thing though, as you know, that I already done a Let's Play of Kirby's Return to Dreamland back in 2020, the worst year ever made. But the thing is though, the extra mode, it's a bit like the same thing as main mode, except you do have a half health, which that might be the only difference anyway. And also same applies to certain bosses do have their different color scheme to it. In addition with those extra boss fights they're able to obviously encounter for, but I don't know. I think I might able to skip on the forms of extra mode for Kirby's Return to Dreamland from now on, because since that we are progressively onto Kirby Superstar Ultra, well, usually for the Let's Play anyway. So, usually relatively speaking, I don't feel like trying to do 2 playthroughs at the same game. Although, usually one is kind of enough thing for me. Just because, well, it feels kind of the same, except with added difficulty and challenge. But, to be honest with you, I pretty much have to skip the, well, obviously the extra mode. So I'm really sorry, but please understand because, wow, it's entirely my thing. So so please understand. So yeah, that's that. And it looks like we have ourselves the final question actually, which appears to be by the forms of My Little Pony Fan 2002, sorry. I always give myself a little bit tongue twisting in the end, folks, I do apologize. Do you have MLP plushies? Which, if you guessed it correctly, yes. In fact, you might as well find out, because I had about 8 of them. And you see why until eventually. So even then, with that being said, I think that's all the questions of how this thing actually offers us to. So, I know it's not much in comparison to most Q&As out there, but at least I did try. So this is my first ever Q&A kind of thing. So, yeah. Now, let's get into the forms of an exciting part, which appears to be my plushie collection. So, even then, with that being said, let's right hop into this. Okay, so first up, in terms of my plushies collection, I will be starting with the one that started it all, in terms of the legendary video game mascot, and that was from Nintendo of course, is the Super Mario plushies. So here's Mario right here. Hello, it's me, Mario! Yeah, I had this Mario ever since 2009, during Christmas time actually. And overall, I think it's actually pretty detailed looking plushie. I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means, but oh no, not too shabby though. Up next is his brother, which is Luigi. Hello. And basically I had this around the same time as Mario, like Christmas 2009. And overall, he looks not too bad as well. Even though the only problem is though is that his head doesn't go straight, so he always goes like that. But either way though, not too shabby, but okay enough. And speaking of such, we have a damsel in distress, but we have Princess Peach. Hello! And I actually had her for 4 years almost, even though she was actually from the All-Stars lineup. Well, generally speaking in Japan only. Well, at least as far as I've heard of it anyway. And she looks very, very accurate. And I'm very glad that I've managed to got the exact accurate version of Peach, because there are any other Princess Peaches out there, but it looks really dodgy. But hey, at least this one is almost perfect in almost every way, even though she looks a bit kind of fake looking. Even Mario and Luigi come across as another best friend from Dinosaur Land since Super Mario World. Yoshi! Yoshi! And I had Yoshi for about 6 years ago, but even then though, he looks really, really cool looking, and overall, not a bad plushie. So even then though, awesome, and he's adorable too. And speaking of such, the richest guy of them all, well, at least it turns he wants to get some abundance of treasures, Wario. I am the Wario. I'm gonna steal some treasure, even though that I'm not going to. Anyway, I got Wario, and this is from the All-Stars lineup, which I think is actually perfectly accurate compared to the forms of the games. I mean, yeah, looks pretty perfect in almost every way. And I think I recently got him ever since in 2020, despite 2020's been really bad, but oh no, really glad to have this. The king of the jungle that he managed able to get started from the likes of Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong. Woo, 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 woo. And this, he's also from the All-Stars lineup, and I think I also got him from the likes of 2020, the worst year ever made. But oh no, perfectly accurate, just like in the games themselves. And also I really like the tie looking. So either way though, really good plush. Ever since her debut since Super Mario Land, from the evil clutches of Tatonga, we have Princess Daisy. Hey! And she was also from the All-Stars lineup, even though that her face is a bit kind of flat for my purchase, which I was expecting, but even then though, still looked really good nonetheless. And ever since in 2000, which was pretty much 2 decades old, with his first appearance of Waluigi. I am so wicked. And I think I actually got him ever since in 2014, so, but even then though, he looks pretty good looking. Even though there's also the All-Stars variation, but unfortunately though, it's pretty expensive at the moment. So if my Waluigi plush is broken and stuff like that, then I can get the replacement eventually. But apart from that, he looks pretty dang accurate, and sure enough, I will able to keep him as it is. Ever since in her debut since Super Mario Galaxy, and is actually the very uniquest Mario characters of all time, Rosalina. Hello. And she was obviously first appeared in Super Mario Galaxy, as we know, and I think I actually got her from 2016, because I believe Capking 74 that while he did manage to able to get duplicates of her, then he obviously gave one to me. So I was like, well, thank you, my friend. But either way though, I'm very glad to have her, and she's very accurate and all that stuff, just like in the games themselves, just like the usual. Some people disagree about the fact that with my favorite characters of all time, in terms of the Mario series, Toad. Hello! And he's obviously first appeared in Super Mario Bros. Ever since in 1985, the one that started it all in terms of, you know what I mean, the Super Mario Bros. Lineup, and he's a really cool plush, and especially noticeable my favorite characters in any Mario spin-offs, like Mario Kart, Mario Party, and I always play as him every single time when I play these games. And overall, he's actually pretty accurate too. He's also from the All-Stars lineup, and overall, really nice plush. Speaking of Toad, here's the female counterpart when her first ever playable debuted ever since in Mario Kart Double Dash, Toadette. Hey! And I also got her in 2016 along with Princess Peach, and she was also from the All-Stars lineup, and I think she's actually very accurate, just like in the actual games themselves, just like the usual. And I'm very glad this existence, because the other ones though, they're just basically just reskins of the previous Toad plushies back in the 2000s. But all in all, really great plushie I have. We're not giving up on Toads though, because there are 2 color variations based off from New Super Mario Bros. Wii / New Super Mario Bros. U. We have Yellow Toad here, which is basically the same thing as the regular red Toad, except it's yellow and stuff. But overall, very good looking, and especially noticeable how the fact that it looks very detailed, and I'm very glad to have this as well. And I think I actually got him back in 2012, so overall, not bad. But there's also another color, but this time Blue Toad. And just like the Yellow Toad plush, he was also very accurate too. And I think I pretty much got him since 2012, the same year. So overall, really great detailed looking Blue Toad. Donkey Kong's best friend made his debut back in 1994, which is roughly almost 26 years ago, Diddy Kong. And I pretty much got him during 2016, and I think I got him from Toys R Us before the Toys R Us store has been bankrupt. But he's actually from the world of Nintendo, as you can see for that label. And I'm very glad to have him, because he's actually pretty cool looking, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm very glad that plush exists. So overall, pretty cool plushie and a very cool character, admit it. One of Bowser's minions that ever seems to make its debut since in 1985, we have Koopa Troopa. And much like any other plushies like Waluigi and all that jazz, I pretty much got him during the forms of 2014. And overall, he's actually not bad looking. Even though much like my Luigi plush, his head doesn't go directly centered. But apart from that, pretty cool and very accurate too. Since in Super Mario Bros. 2, aka Super Mario USA, we have a first ever look at Shy Guy. Even though there are two variations of Shy Guy, like one of them is actually involves purple shoes for whatever reason, which I think I got him in around the same year as when Koopa Troopa arrived, my Koopa Troopa plushie I should say. There's also another variation which is the most accurate one out of them all because he has like blue shoes, like from the All-Stars lineup, but oh no, not too shabby for the most part. And lastly, in terms of the Mario plushies I have, is Kamek, aka Magic Koopa to be more precise. No, really accurate, and is also very nicely done, even though you can able to actually just take down his glasses down so you can see his real eyes, but I don't feel like showing that off. And overall, really good looking plushie. Now let's move on to the next lineup of plushies I've got, is the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think I've got that much in terms of Mario plushies, but overall, these are the only ones I've got as it is. So let's start with the one that started it all, Sonic the Hedgehog, in this case a classic Sonic variation. Got him ever since back in October 2008, and I'm very glad I managed to got him back in in 2008, and this is the only Sonic I managed to use a lot for most of the videos and all that jazz. No, he's actually pretty cool looking, and obviously, unfortunately, I don't have the modern Sonic counterpart, but oh no, really great looking blush. On the subject of classic Sonic, we have classic Tails, and he's also very cool looking too, and it pretty much matches up to the forms of the Mega Drive games and all that jazz, and overall, pretty cool looking plushie, especially noticeable that Tails fans out there were able to actually found Tails to be a really cool character. So the red echidna is trying to protect the Angel Island, which appears to be Knuckles the Echidna. Knuckles sandwich. Yeah, anyway, much like Tails, and even though I forgot to mention about Tails, I pretty much got both Tails and Knuckles, specifically classic variations, from 2009, the same day as when Sonic and the Black Knight came out, which is kind of ironic, because despite I don't have modern variations of Knuckles and Sonic and Tails anymore, but either way, I don't mind having a classic variations between these three, because based off from, the really excellent Sonic 3 and Knuckles game, including most recently released 2D Sonic game, Sonic Mania, which you definitely recommend by the way. The Ultimate Life Form has just managed to able to get out of Prison Island thanks to the forms of the military's top secret weapon from the likes of, from Prison Island. We have the Ultimate Life Form, Shadow the Hedgehog. Chaos Control. Yeah, anyway, I pretty much got this variation of Shadow from ever since like back in 2019, and I'm very glad I've managed to got him before the actual pricing gets ridiculously overpriced. Even though pretty accurate too, despite the shoes is not exactly matched up to the game, and also that I can't move around with his arm that much, but it knows what it is when it comes to Tomy Company, so either way though, really good looking. He does have his psychokinesis powers, and he wants to destroy the ablest trigger, which is Silver the Hedgehog. It's no use! This will end it. Yeah, anyway. Much like Shadow, I pretty much got him during the same year in 2019, but slightly later than that. No, much like the forms of Shadow, he's actually alright looking, even though that the blue psychic marks doesn't show up on the top glove, which I know there are other variations out there, but it's pretty pricey these days. But overall, really great plushie, especially for this Psychic Hedgehog, Silver the Hedgehog. And lastly, in terms of the Sonic the Hedgehog plushies, and it's from a different franchise, which is the Sonic Boom series, but I got Styx, the Badger, and I basically got her since 2016, and overall she's actually not too bad either. And overall, I think that's the only Sonic Boom plush I can able to actually have. Although I used to have Sonic and Tails ones though, but for whatever reason I just don't feel like trying to show this off, sorry. So, but either way though, that's it for the Sonic plushies. Next set of plushies I have is the Pokemon plushies, which I know most Pokemon fans will be expected by that point. So the first one of the bunch though is Pikachu, and this is actually a different Pikachu I used to have, and I've managed to able to got him since I believe in 2020, the worst year ever made. But overall, he's actually very cute and adorable looking, especially with this pose like this, and very glad to have this size, because I used to have the smaller variation, but I basically give up on small variations of Pikachus because yeah, it's a bit chippy, but other than that, really great looking plush though. The actual time-traveling Pokemon does manage to exist, which appears to be Celebi, and I basically got her since, I think it was in 2012. No, well, I think it was during summertime, but, oh no, she's actually not that bad looking, even though her eyes is a bit far from between, but I know there's also another variation, which is the 20th anniversary edition of Celebi, but hey, she's pretty cool looking, and plus, I have to admit, she's actually my favorite Pokemon out of all the lot, because she looks adorable looking, especially she managed to able to make her appearance of Pokemon Forever, and Pokemon the movie 13, Zoroark Master of Illusions, including the upcoming film, the movie 23, Secrets of the Jungle, despite the fact it's been delayed. Screw you, virus. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much about it for Celebi. And another legendary Pokemon, which appears to be Jirachi, and I basically got him the same year as Celebi. No, he's actually not too bad looking too. And oh no, because the reason why I got him is because of Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker, the movie 6 film. So even then though, very glad to have him though. So even then though, not too shabby. Yet another legendary Pokemon usually becomes a thing, and that one appears to be Manaphy. And if you notice on the forms of my Mega Man Marathon Albulog, that you do notice is the fact that she actually acts out as the forms of, well, let's just say Piglet and Rarity's daughter or something like that, but that was just a made up thing, because I know everyone else attempt to do different kind of styles of character development, but hey, at least it's something's worth noting for. And I basically got this variation of Manaphy since 2018, and at a pretty good pricing too, not too shabby and not too expensive either. So in all, she's actually really dang accurate. Yet another legendary Pokemon becomes a thing, but this time on Generation 5, so we have Victini, and this is obviously based off from the 20th anniversary counterpart of Victini, because I know there are other variations out there, but this is the only one I've got. And he's actually pretty dang cute looking too, and also very shiny effect heavy, so even then though, I'm very glad to have that Victini plush, especially back in Toys R Us before it's gone bankrupted and closed down everything on that shop. And there's another legendary Pokemon from Generation 5, we have Metaela. And I don't know what this form is actually called. I do know what it is, but I don't exactly know the name of it, so I apologize for that point, folks. And she's also very accurate looking too. And I think, if I recall correctly, I've got her since, I don't know, 2017 or 16, even though I think I've lost count. But overall, she's actually really awesome looking. There's also the green variation though, but it's actually pretty expensive at the moment, so I'm very glad to have this variation instead. And finally, in terms of the Pokemon plushies, we have Diancie, and I think this is actually based off from the Pokemon Center plushies, and she's actually very small compared to the forms of the official one that has been pretty pricey recently. Now, the reason why I managed to get her is because I just saw Pokemon the movie 17, and I found that film to be quite enjoyable, and I decided to get her. So either way though, very glad to have this though, and I think she was obviously from Generation 6 of the Pokemon games for sure, although I may be wrong, but yeah, I thought to myself for that. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for Diancie. And now for the bronies out there, for those of you waiting for this point, is the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic set of plushies I've got. So first up is Princess Twilight Sparkle. Now the reason why I say Princess Twilight Sparkle is because if you've seen the finale of Season 3, then you do realize that she now actually has wings, so she becomes an alicorn. No, she's really cute. Especially noticeable that since I'm a brony still, that I'm very glad able to have her as in the plush form, because I know there are some other variations out there, but this one is pretty good looking too, despite missing one cutie mark though. But all in all, pretty great. And there's also another unicorn, but it's actually the element of generosity, and she's actually my favorite characters in the show, Rarity. Some people might disagree, but that's just in my opinion. And all in all, much like Twilight Sparkle, she's actually really cute and adorable looking, and obviously she looks pretty amazing as well. Well, minus the missing cutie mark each side, but all in all, she's beautiful looking. The 20% cooler catchphrase also comes from Rainbow Dash, and she's also really awesome looking too. And yeah, she's very accurate too, even though that despite, missing cutie mark aside. But either way though, that's what it usually does for most plushies every now and then. Plus there are some other variations that do have both cutie marks, but that's just how it goes basically. Some people seem to say that Rainbow Dash is the awesome pony ever, which is probably true for Generation 4. Well, I don't know about Generation 4.5 though, but that's just me. Some people, or brownies out there, thinks it's considered to be the cutest pony of them all, Fluttershy. She's obviously from the element of kindness, which is, well, what you expect, pretty cute and adorable looking. Especially noticeable, she has a beautiful butterfly cutie marks, which either way though, that represents kindness. So yeah, very cute and adorable looking. The pony that usually breaks the fourth wall in the entire show all the time, and that's what appears to be Pinkie Pie, and she's also very great looking. And I'm very glad I managed to got the proper version of Pinkie Pie plushie, because I did have the previous one, but it's incredibly awkward. So I'm very glad I have this variation as well. In fact, most of the main 6 plushies I've got are actually based off from the Sparkle variations, which makes them a little bit more pretty enough. And the final member, in terms of the main 6 ponies, we have Applejack. And despite she actually has missing her hat, but that's what most plushies attempt to do. And yet again, much like the other 5, she's pretty cool looking. And plus, most people think Applejack is the best pony ever, which I will have to say she's probably the second best favorite in my eyes. But either way, yeah, that's pretty much what I can say about her. Since I got the main 6 plushies ever since in 2016, but it wasn't until 2 years later in 2018, I've got Starlight Glimmer. And she's obviously very much a different shape in terms of the previous plushies I have, because I think she's the only one I've got. And overall, not too bad, except for those spread up legs, which even then though, it does attempt to do that for my plushie variation of her. And overall, she's not too bad either. And despite obviously again, much like the any other plushies, just only one cutie mark, but that's how it goes basically. So yeah, pretty cool looking plushie. And finally, in terms of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic plushies, and this is more of a recently purchased from the likes of 2021. Trixie, the great and powerful Trixie indeed. And of course, much like Starlight Glimmer, she's basically the exact same design as her. Well, usually the only exception being is that, of course, fixed up legs, and oh no, not too bad either. And I do definitely know that there's any other Trixie plushies out there, but this is the only one I've got. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot there was one more Pokemon plushie I've ever got, and that what appears to be Zora. And the reason why I got him is I think I got him back in 2012, which, because I enjoy Pokemon the movie 13, Zoroark of Illusions, or Master of Illusions I should say, and overall, he's actually pretty cute and adorable looking. Before we move on, I want to give you an honorable mention when it comes to the forms of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic plushies. I've managed to able to got Angel Bunny here, even though he wasn't nearly as accurate as the ones in the show, but I will try to able to customize him as Angel Bunny as of like the Fluttershy's companion. So yeah, I thought to myself I might as well include him. So, but either way though, that's the only ones I can able to muster. Next up is the forms of a movie / TV shows miscellaneous plushies. So I'm gonna go for Disney Pixar ones first, and then we'll move on to Rio plushies I've got, and of course, the Powerpuff Girls plushie. So either way though, let's get this thing to it. So first up,
Woody, and he's obviously first appeared in Toy Story, even though the plushie itself is okay. I mean, usually it's not as perfect as the ones in the movie counterparts, like, what the heck is up with the forms of, well, just this really weird face, but I think that's the only, like, 7 centimeters plush I can think of. Even then, there are a lot of Woodies out there that you can think is actually quite top-notch, but either way, an okay plush. The Space Ranger from the Star Command, which appears to be Buzz Lightyear, and despite there are some limitations of these plushie, mainly with the forms of the lack of Space Visor, which I'm pretty sure that's what that's going for, and of course the lack of traditional letters such as Lightyear on the center, but it does have it on there. But either way though, I think that's the only one I've got. But either way though, okay plushie, but hey, at least it's something, alright. And lastly, in terms of the Toy Story plushies, which is Jessie the Cowgirl, which obviously she first appeared in Toy Story 2. And overall, not bad looking too, even though her nose is a bit weird, which I must admit though, that seems obvious. And just like Woody, she's okay for the actual, in terms of the actual, my plush I've got, but it knows what it is. And a final plush in terms of the Pixar set of plushies I've got, and is actually based off from Inside Out, which is the very uniquest film ever, but I've got Joy here. And she was pretty good looking, I have to admit it though. And yeah, that's all I honestly try to say about Joy. And she was obviously the forms of, well, the elements of, well, happy and all that jazz. But I know it's been a while since I've actually seen the film, but you definitely recommend the film, by the way. Next up is Rio, and of course the first one I've got is Blue. And blimey, he's really huge. And I think that the reason why is because I actually did manage to find Blue, along with Jewel, which I'll get into in a moment, for a very good, cheap price. And overall, Blue is actually not too shabby either. Looks very accurate to the ones in the film, and since that Rio is now my favorite Blue Sky Studios films, that I must admit I enjoy watching those from time to time. Where's Rio 3? Like, I really wish if Rio 3 existed, but that's just how it is for me. Speaking of Jewel, there she is right here, and gotta say, I actually really love this one. Especially noticeable that although her eye color doesn't match up to the forms of the movie counterparts, but overall, pretty cool looking, and I'm very glad to have her as a plush because, well, much like Blue, she's really huge looking, but hey, at least it's pretty cool design as it goes. On the subject of Disney, is that I obviously got the plush that is based off from the 2009 film, which is The Princess and the Frog, but I do have Tiana as in frog form. And I basically got her ever since in 2010. Jeez, it's been a decade ago since I actually last got her. And I think I got her from eBay for a reasonably really cheap price. And overall, really great looking plush though, and I'm very glad to have her because Tiana is actually a really cool character in the film, so but hey, at least it's something, you know. Up next in terms of the Disney stuff, we have only one plushie I have from Winnie the Pooh franchise, but at least he's actually the most cutest character of them all. Piglets. And as you can see, he's all really dirty looking, probably it's because I had him for a very long time. But overall, not bad looking plushie too, and yeah, I've mainly used him for the sake of a lot of TheMaxiToys videos in these days. Even though there's someone in the comments saying that, you know, obviously he goes, oh, dear, and all that jazz. But I did try my best to impress him, but either way though, maybe for another time. And lastly, in terms of the Disney plushies I've got, aside from one honorable mention, which we have Mickey Mouse. And I got him with, well, it's actually based off from Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, the Three Musketeers outfit, but as you can see, I've somehow accidentally just torn everything apart from his shirt and all that stuff. It's probably because the actual color scheme for the actual hat and everything else goes all teared up apart, which I know it does have its aged, but either way though, pretty good plush. And of course the honorable mentions when it comes to Disney stuff, because it's usually part of this due to the Muppets and the Muppets Most Wanted, and even the Muppets Christmas Carol, we have Kermit the Frog here. I have no idea why I've got him, but at least I think he's actually a pretty cool looking guy, or a cool looking puppet even, and I might try to use him at some point, but not now though, because even then I got any other things to take care of first, but all in all, very glad to have him. On the subject of Looney Tunes, there's only two I can think of I can usually think I can use the most, and that will have to be Duffy Duck here. Despicable. Yeah, I was gonna try my impression of him, but nothing compared to the forms of the actual cartoons, but hey, at least he looks pretty cool looking too. I actually got him for quite a long time actually, especially noticeable that no tears or anything else like that, but all in all, really good looking. And of course, the last of the Looney Tunes plush I got is Sylvester the Cat, that he loves to eat Tweety the Bird, which that maybe seems obvious from the likes of the Looney Tunes TV shows and stuff like that, even though I don't usually watch that much of Looney Tunes these days, but it knows what it is. And just like Duffy Duck, he's perfectly accurate than the likes of the forms of the show. No, no, I think that's a really good plush I can have. Talking of which, of Wonder Brothers, which up next in terms of the forms of the cartoon plushies, and that was based off from the Powerpuff Girls. So first off is of course Blossom here, even though despite these plushies are based off from the god-awful 2016 reboot, but Blossom looks okay, even though she looks almost accurate enough. Like basically I just might able to actually just to be acting like the 1998 counterparts, because screw 2016 reboot, because that reboot sucks. But yeah, Blossom is pretty cool looking too. Up next is Bubbles, and as you can see on screen, this is obviously based off from also from 2016 reboot, but as you can see I recently cut out those little blue hairstyle parts just to make it a little bit of a match up to the forms of the original counterparts, because trust me, you really don't want to watch the 2016 reboot if I were you, so just go watch the originals though, because the original ones are awesome looking. But hey, she's adorable looking and all that jazz, and yeah, very glad to have her. And finally, in terms of the Powerpuff Girls plushies, which is, of course, the toughest one of them all, Buttercup. And just like Bubbles, I basically cut the spiky hair bit on it, because let me tell you, I'm not a big fan of when Buttercup managed to got a spiky bitty hair on top of it, because it looks kind of out of place in my opinion. But hey, much like Bubbles, I pretty much match her as in the original counterpart, so it looks pretty dang better, I'm not gonna lie, even though I have to usually have to customize some parts throughout, but hey, at least she's pretty awesome and pretty cool looking as well. Okay, so I think we've only got 5 plushies to go, and that will have to be based off from any other video game plushies. Let's get on with the Mega Man ones first. Mega Man, aka in Japan, Rockman, because I do actually know some of the differences between multiple countries, but hey. And I think he was also from the All-Stars lineup, much like certain Mario plushies, and I'm very glad to have him, despite he's actually sitting down, but overall he looks really dang accurate looking, especially noticeable because since if you notice that I've done the Mega Man Marathon, I think we might as well able to do a Mega Man Marathon again, but this time on handhelds, which it will happen at some point this year, but God knows of what month we're able to do it. But overall, not bad looking Rockman, or Mega Man if you're in English. And another one of those Mega Man plushies I have, and it's actually a pretty cool one actually, Proto Man. And in Japan, I think he was known as Blues because of music reference, according to the forms of some Mega Man fans out there who were able to notice. And overall, not bad looking too. Like, he got himself a shield back there, including a really wicked scarf thing right here, based off from the games. And yeah, pretty awesome looking too. And he's also from the All-Stars lineup, so even then though, very glad to have him. Next up is the Kirby Plush, even though unfortunately though, I've only got one, because the other two, which there are Meta Knight and King Dedede, are what I was supposed to get, but it's pretty expensive. So either way though, I just got Kirby himself, and overall, he's adorable. Especially noticeable since I'm a huge fan of the Kirby series, and overall, I'm very glad able to have him. Especially noticeable that, well, since I'm a huge Kirby fanatic, then I'm also able to, like, get him. Everyone's favorite video game franchises of all time, which appears to be the Legend of Zelda series, but I somehow only got one. That is Link, based off from, well, The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, Unfortunately though, my sword attempt to come off because, yeah, it's too bad because I don't have a sword at the moment, but because it's gone all a bit wonky, so as a result, I might try to make a customizable sword for Link, even for a Master Sword as it is. But in all, pretty cool looking too, and I think he's actually from World of Nintendo or something, even though I might be wrong. But even then though, very glad to have him though. And the final plush I have in terms of my plushie collections that I've used for the TheMaxiToys commentaries and all that stuff, but I have Pac-Man. And as you can see, this is based off from Pac-Man The Ghostly Adventure, sadly. But as you can see on screen, I managed to make him customizable, like I'll try to match him as in the actual Pac-Man I know and love ever since in, well, let's just say in the Pac-Man World Trilogy. But unfortunately though, I can't seem to be able to find any Pac-Man plushies anywhere that matches up the forms of Pac-Man World series. But this is the only Pac-Man plush I've ever got. But since I'm not a big fan of the rebooted Pac-Man's design, like what the hell is up with his eyes, or why his shoes is gone all redesigned and everything. But I did literally try my best to able to redesign the old school Pac-Man, because let me know in the comments to able to send me a link if I can find many of those different Pac-Man plushies that are much better than this, and plus he's really small, and also he was based off from the TV series which I'm not a big fan of, which is The Ghostly Adventures, which yeah, that show is ugh. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it for Pac-Man. And there you go guys, that's pretty much every single plushies I have from the likes of 2011 all the way up to 2021. Good, massive upgrade right here. Especially noticeable that I use these guys ever since when I was doing my whole bunch of commentaries for most Let's Plays and all that stuff. Even though despite my impressions on these characters, it's not 100% accurate, but I did try my best. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And there you have it folks, so what do you think about the forms of this amazing celebration video for you guys, even some of my fans included. So yeah, there's not much else I can say honestly, even then though it has been a pleasure to my heart thanks to the forms of likely 10 years since when it began back in 2011. And 10 years later, we've still gone pretty dang good. And one thing I forgot to mention is that we recently got about 340 subscribers at the moment. So I know it's not much, but at least we are doing great, at least as far as I'm concerned. Especially noticeable that we still carry on doing any other Let's Plays for my parts. Mainly with like, I'm still carry on doing Knight's Journey of Dreams. And to be honest, gonna be hopefully trying to get back into Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3 at some point in this Thursday. And also Sonic is gonna be carry on doing Mario Party 3. So yeah, speaking of Mario Party, there you go. So hope you guys were able to enjoy this particular great celebration. I know we're still stuck in a limbo for the lockdown thing, which to be honest with you, that's to be expected by that point, at least despite the fact that someone sent in the comments to me also saying that unfortunately the second MLP movie is going to be on, well luckily it's on Netflix though, so that's good. So at least it skipped over the theatrical big screen release because you know. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys have a great night, and thank you for watching, and be sure to stay safe out there, wash hands, and wear a mask if you go out somewhere. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and take care.